Hello and welcome to U.Gov. U.Gov is all about you and the government. Yes, you as a citizen, you have your role to play in the society, and we also look at functions of the government of the day in every society. I am Itohan Olomu-Agbodo. First, we'll go on a quick break. Stay with us.
This week on EduBox, we are taking a look at security challenges facing Nigeria as a nation. First of all, security is generally defined as the quality or state of being secure, such as freedom from danger or freedom from fear or anxiety. The question then is, how safe are Nigerians? Insecurity resulting from both natural and man-made disasters such as terrorism, kidnapping, armed robbery, and armed banditry are gradually becoming an embarrassment to the Nigerian people. The upsurge in criminal activities seem to have taken a new dimension to the extent that Nigerians are becoming worried, as this indicates a great danger to the unity of the country. This week, we take a look at the level of insecurity in Nigeria and proffer some solutions.
You're welcome back. If you just joined us, this is U.Gov, and U.Gov is all about you and the government. This week, we are taking a look at security. Security is everyone's business, and we are going to be focusing on the challenges Nigeria is facing in area of security. But first, we want to go to the streets to find out what Nigerians have to say about the provision made by the government to fight insurgency and other security challenges in Nigeria. Stay with us.
I don't think the problem is that the money is not enough, but I think it's not well utilized. The money is well utilized and handled by people who are sincere. I think it's an issue of sincerity in handling the funds. So if these things are handled well by those who are trustworthy and those who are actually committed to security of lives and property in this country, I think things will be okay, better.
I think the politicians are sharing the money. We have soldiers, we have military, we have Air Force, we have Navy. If we have all these things, Boko Haram, who is not properly trained, and a sort of a few people who organize themselves and start attacking and killing Nigerians like this, killing soldiers, do you think by their own power, if Nigeria is really fighting Boko Haram and there's no sabotage, that Boko Haram can continue to do what they are doing? I don't believe that anybody is fighting Boko Haram. I believe that some people are sharing that money, but they don't have sense. They don't think of the blood of innocent Nigerians that are being shed every day. What is this Boko Haram that continue? Nigeria fought a civil war and ended it in 3 years. How many years have they fought Boko Haram that they cannot defeat them? They are not doing, the military should examine themselves and know who is this Boko Haram in the first place. Till Nigerians make up their mind that they come to just investigate the people fighting Boko Haram and what they are doing, be able to know that if somebody is fighting Boko Haram or not. And I look at it as the way they look at fighting corruption. Fighting corruption and Boko Haram is the same thing. Nobody fighting corruption. At the same time, nobody fighting Boko Haram.
What I would say about Nigeria issues of Boko Haram is a child play. They know what they are doing. Both the political group, the leaders, all of them, they are the same. They are the Boko Haram. They are the ones sharing the money with themselves. They are the ones bringing Boko Haram. They are the ones still sharing the money with themselves. It's like when we are playing drafts. So these guys, you see, I don't know how will I put it to them. It's like when you are telling people lies, cheating people. Yes, that's why I see it. Like if you're a chairman of a company and you employ many people in the company, and the managers or the general manager began to play you as a chairman. So these guys are playing Nigerians. But I know one day the country will wake up. All what they are saying is a lie. It will never be true.
You're welcome back. That was quite interesting. Our street teacher segment there, people talking about the fact that the allocation is actually more than what they feel should be spent, but they are not seeing the desired results. But this week, we are talking to a security expert. He's going to be telling us about the state of Nigeria's security at the moment, and he is Ambassador Roy Okhidievbie. He's the CEO of August Eye Securities Limited. Let's take a listen.
The state of the Nigerian security is actually at the level of prediction. All of the predictions security practitioners have made over time has actually buttressed the fact that we shall get to this level of anarchy. We shall get to this level where the security agencies have been overstretched. We shall get to this level where we cannot live in our homes and close our two eyes. And the best of it is that we shall get to the level where the high and mighty are also as stressed and exposed as the common man in the streets. And that is where we are right now. The issue of kidnapping and banditry in Nigeria, you see, it will even be a surprise if it is not at this level that we are right now. Because we have actually forgotten to process data, especially data of criminals. We have actually negated the use of intelligence and policing. We banked mostly on intervention rather than prevention. And it has generated a lot of gaps in our security policing system. Now, we also seen that kidnapping was also taken to the level of being a vocation, because those kidnappers that didn't have a good penalty accruing to the offense, and the judiciary also are culpable, because as I speak to you right now, Evans the kidnapper, with all the confessions made by him, with all the evidences provided by victims, with all the lives that were lost, even by the military guy that joined them and confessed to the activities of his being brought into it. You know, Evans the kidnapper is still alive. And this is a kind of mentoring for other kidnappers that are in the vocation. So I would like to say that kidnapping is now part of the business enterprise in Nigeria, and pro bono, most people do it for themselves. You will be surprised to find out that children kidnap themselves to get ransom for their parents, wives kidnap themselves, husbands kidnap themselves. So many people are now into the business until the long arm of the law becomes firm and decisive. That menace will continue. A long time ago, we were trying to look at the governed space in Nigeria and the ungoverned space. You know, Nigeria is very large. It's a large country, and you will be shocked to discover that there are different governments in Nigeria that are not actually the uniform government under the Constitution of Nigeria. If you go to some areas, even in developed cities like Lagos, you will find that you are paying taxes to hoodlums, and there are policemen standing by observing. You know, so this has given rise to people becoming their own government. The collapse of government institutions also created that, you know. So banditry, it's also linked to mining and drug peddling activities. And these two activities created a kind of space for people that have access to weapons and could intimidate government agencies. Intimidation of government agencies was linked to the fact that persons that could access weapons also were used for political thuggery, political intimidation of opponents. And this has given them the power that they need. So even if you send the policemen to go and arrest these people, they are weakened by the fact that the polity controls the agencies. The political hierarchy controls the agencies. So banditry must continue in areas that are not in governed spaces. We don't have policemen running and manning those places. And you will be also shocked to discover that certain persons in villages in Nigeria pay taxes to gangs. They pay taxes to hoodlums. And we are in the same country flying the same flag. So I have already opined long time ago that it is advisable that we should have places where we have forest rangers, people that could police those areas. There must be places where we have the marine police to police those areas. There must be places where you put tags on businesses like mining. Those are the kind of jobs that bring in the lowest cadre of persons, high turnover. And the immigration also, they also has a role to play in the banditry issue. Because if you have people that are tagged as foreigners, they were identified as foreigners, they should be apprehended and deported back to their country. So if they are still in Nigeria and giving rise and traction to the lawlessness, then we have all of these agencies to be asking questions. But there is nothing the agencies can do if there is the wrong body language from the center. The government itself must have the right body language. It must have sincerity of purpose. The government must be able to alienate itself from the activities of agencies that want to curb any kind of lawlessness. If the police is picking up anyone, the government itself must show the police the right body language that they are doing their job. If it is the EFCC going after financial fraud or money laundering for any guys, the government should show the right body language. Until you get that, you will not be able to see a right reduction, mitigation in banditry, especially in the north, where you have a lot of forest regions, desert regions. These are areas that you cannot even put to track routes that people travel through. There are routes that you cannot put to track, and that has created the opportunities for all of this.
Well, that's Roy Okhidievbie talking about security challenges facing Nigeria, looking at the issue of banditry and things like that. And we are going to be taking a quick break, but he's going to be standing by to continue that interview on security challenges in Nigeria. Stay with us.
Love Work Plus website is your #1 trusted companion as we make sure we never leave you without a smile. Using a world-class design for an easier user experience across the world, we make sure that you get the freshest and latest news on our news platform. And on entertainment, we get you covered. Find out what's going on in the world of sports, as we are there to give you numbers. And with our social affairs shows, we keep you in the know. Enjoy the Word of God each day, as one word from God will change your life forever. We also give you an opportunity to communicate with us through prayers and through your partnership. It's a whole new experience with the Love World Plus website, as we help you create your own atmosphere everywhere you go. Love World Plus, taking you beyond television.
You're welcome back. Well, this is still you.gov, and we are talking about national security challenges facing Nigeria. And we have a security expert who has been talking about those challenges relating to banditry. But now we're going to be looking at the area of the police force, and other law enforcement agencies in Nigeria. What are they doing? Why are we hearing so much of extrajudicial killing? Let's take a listen.
One thing about police abuse of office, especially in the use of arms, is that the discipline line have not been properly drawn. But I think this new IG has taken the onus on itself. You know, people always look at the possibility of policemen being stable. Now, if the policeman is not stable because he's not well paid, if the policeman is not stable because he does not have the right amenities, the right comfort zones, the right medical follow through, if he is not, he should either be relieved of his job or he should relieve himself of his job. I was in the Nigerian army, and at a point I discovered that my expectations were not being met. I discovered that the structure was going south. I discovered that I could not deliver legitimately, and I had to apply to be discharged, you know. So for that angle, the other angle you need to look at is that the policemen, they travel the same route of challenges like every Nigerian. They get to their house, there is no light, and there is a bill to pay. They get to the road, it's bumpy, damages cars and all that. They get to their hospitals, they have to buy drugs, even if they are on medical plans. You know, they face all of this. So I used to ask someone, I said, you are giving someone a gun. Can't you put the psychiatric department to do a regular quarterly assessment of every officer? Can't you assign officers to get psychiatric clearance every 2 or 3 months to be sure that they have the right compatibility to face aggression from civilians, and they could withhold their capacity and capability to use maximum force, because force is commensurate. If someone is coming to me with a knife, a cutlass, or there's a gang of youths making a lot of noise, I should not immediately begin to fire. And also, if I'm wearing the right gear, I'm putting on a bulletproof vest, a bulletproof helmet, I'm in a controlled and a vehicle that is presented for such action, then I should know that, okay, we could disperse this crowd maybe by releasing of the tear gas. So many times, I like what the IG said, that there are other gadgets that he needs to introduce right now. There are stun guns and all that. But even with the stun gun, there is also the threat that the heart of the person, the victim or the suspect, may not be strong enough to take that stun. So we have to also come in to check the psychiatric level of police officers regularly. That is for sure. Then we need to know track records. Some of the police officers that we are talking about, they have issues in Maiduguri, in Borno, in Bayelsa, in Edo, where they worked earlier before they were posted to a new location. Where are the records to show how he worked? Who did an appraisal to now say, okay, this officer should be deployed to areas of non-combative activity. He should be deployed to maybe the office. He should not be deployed to areas where he will face aggression and he will need to use extreme force, because he does not have the balance to be able to manage that. So we need to look at all of that. Then culpability. Once there's culpability and penalties accruing, not being guised as, you know, we are police officers, what will we do? In the army, if you misfire one round and you cannot explain it, those days when I was serving, you are in big soup. Okay, right now, any soldier that goes out of his way to kill someone, there is a court martial. The whole world knows about the court martial. Thousands of soldiers face court martial. Even the international human rights organization, they are the ones now coming to say, don't dismiss them, don't dismiss them like that. You know, so once that heavy arm of the law and the application of the law is there, all other officers will restrict themselves and resist the temptation to use maximum force. So I think there are a lot of angles to look at to control that. Doing enough is a large word. Now, when you say doing enough, they might be doing enough, but they might not be doing what they are supposed to be doing. You know, there's an adage, they said, busy bee, busy doing nothing. Okay, so when you are proactive and you are reactive, you get different results. When you are proactive, you prevent loss of lives, you prevent anarchy and chaos, you prevent the environment to be fruitful for criminal activities. But when you are reactive, you only jump in to curb an action, an immediate action. And that action that you are curbing, it could have taken lives, it could have destroyed properties. So I want to implore the government to look more into proactive activities. I don't know if anybody is looking at our training institutions for government security agencies right now. I don't know if anybody is looking into the comfort and the motivation of the officers. So many of all these things need to come into play. Then the citizens themselves, the judiciary. I'm happy with what is happening in the judiciary. I'm happy in the sense that the lawyers, the chief judges, and all the hands, they have come to see that the politicians are playing democracy with the law. So everybody should wake up, go back to their drawing board, and begin to apply the profession in whatever institution of government they find themselves. The parastatals must work, or else the chaos will continue. There are solutions to banditry and kidnapping. I think if I call my daughter, who is 15, she will give you like 20. See, we have the error of application. Most of these solutions that we seek, they are available to us. But how and when to apply them? A bandit is either a citizen or not. He's residing and practicing his banditry in Nigeria. One of the things that a bandit needs is weapons. Another thing that they need is the freedom to operate. That's legality of illegality. They cannot brazenly walk into a village, walk into a town. They have the spaces to operate in. And those are the things that are giving them that. Then finance. Their financing is also attracting the other people that they can recruit on board their gang ship. So if you want to really curb some of these things, you must curtail and cut off their routes, their communication system, their ability to share funds, their use of weapons, and the spaces that they operate in. All of those spaces that they operate in are supposed to be controlled by government. Some of these villages, some of these waterways, some of these bushes, the forests, they are supposed to be controlled by government. So I don't see why they have this audacity and brazenness to operate in those spaces. Make everywhere governable. Make every citizen patriotic. Make every violation answerable to a penalty, and you begin to get the right results.
Well, quite an interesting interview we had with Roy Okhidievbie. He is a security expert and he's the CEO of August Eye Security Limited. And he gave some recommendations about what the government should do. And even the one I like the most is the issue of psych evaluation for police officers and law enforcement agencies. These people should be checked periodically before giving arms. And he also talked about the fact that the IGP is talking about the use of stun guns instead of actual firearms. But some victims that those stun guns will be used for may have issues with their hearts, and things like this should actually be checked. And we have to go back to the drawing board to focus on issues that affect the society. But we have some more tidbits for you. Stay with us. Well, that's much we can take this week on you.gov, and our topic was security challenges facing Nigeria, and we had Roy Okhidievbie, a security expert, who talked about the issue of kidnapping, the issue of banditry, as well as looking at revamping the police force, reforming the police force. I am Itohan Olomu-Agbodo, but if you have comments for us or you want updates, we would like you to visit our website on www.loverplus.tv, and you can send your messages to numbers I'll be showing on your screen now. Bye for now.